the normal menstrual cycle. Now this slide is showing what happens in PCOS in a menstrual cycle. In a normal menstrual cycle, there is a surge in LH secretion which causes the egg to be released from the ovary. Whereas in a PCOS cycle, the surge of LH doesn't happen and the egg is not released from the ovary. Now in a normal cycle, you can see a small surge in FSH secretion. This follicle stimulating hormone helps the eggs to grow. Whereas in a polycystic cycle, the FSH shows a straight line. It doesn't show any peak, so the eggs do not mature. They remain in the size of 2 to 9 mm in a polycystic ovary. This diagram here is showing that GnRH hormone is released from the hypothalamus. Now this is gonadotropin releasing hormone. That means is it releases hormones from the gonadotrophs. Now gonads are ovaries here. So this gonadotropin hormone from the hypothalamus goes to the pituitary. This pituitary then releases LH and FSH, these two hormones. LH and FSH then act on the ovaries. In ovary, estrogen and progesterone are produced. This is what happens in a normal menstrual cycle. Now, in a PCOS cycle, LH is very high. So, LH forms androgens, which is a male hormone. So, that leads to increase in male hormones in PCOS. This increase in male hormones leads to hirsutism and acne in young girls. So now among all causes of irregular menses, why we are discussing only PCOS today? Because PCOS, if left untreated and uncared for in adolescent girls, leads to many complications. So it leads to obesity, it leads to fatty liver, it leads to heart disease, depression and anxiety, infertility, endometrial carcinoma, and diabetes. So I would like to explain to you, when a girl gets a first period, that is the onset of menstruation, which we call menarche, a body of the girl takes 2 years to adjust to the hormonal levels, hormonal changes in her body. So in 2 years, if she has irregular periods, we consider that as normal. Now after that, the next 2 years, like suppose if the girl starts having periods at the age of 10 years, till 12 years, her cycles are going to be irregular. From 12 to 14 years, we call it as window period. Now, if in this window period, we are able to control PCOS and other problems which she has, like diabetes or any other, it will not lead to so many complications. So this period is very, very important. That is why we have to catch the patient when they are young in the adolescent age. What are the long-term risks of PCOS patients? Now, as I said, if we don't treat the patients during the window period, it leads to 3 times the risk of diabetes, stroke, and heart disease, twice the risk of anxiety, depression, and drug use, twice the risk of hospitalization for any cause, and 10 times the risk of infertility. The Indian scenario of PCOS in our country is two in every 5 adolescent has PCOS. How does a girl who has PCOS presents? She will have irregular periods or cycles. She'll have extra hair on face and other parts of body called hirsutism, acne, weight gain, and dark patches of skin in the folds of the neck and underarms. So here we can see the diagram how a PCOS girl will look. She'll have central obesity. She'll have male kind of baldness due to increased androgens, which is a male hormone. She will have hirsutism, that is hair in the chin, and acne. The ovaries will have multiple eggs which will not mature and not ovulate. This is a diagram showing ultrasound picture of how PCOS ovary looks. The stroma, that is the cells, will be collected in the middle. The eggs will be on the outer lining of the ovary. This will give a pearl necklace kind of appearance. These are small eggs in the ovary which are filled with fluid of 2 to 9 mm size. Now, a PCOS patient, 70% of them will have high level of insulin, they'll be overweight, and they will have hirsutism. PCOS, as we can see, is a multifactorial disease. It is not just a single cause that will lead to PCOS. There are multiple causes which will manifest into PCOS. The most common is hormonal imbalance. Then there'll be increased androgens level, which is a male hormone, insulin resistance, genetics. Genetics, if the mother and daughter both have PCOS history, then the other children or the siblings will also have PCOS. If there's family history of diabetes, then diabetes will be present in the kids as well as PCOS. Stress levels, weakened immune system will precipitate PCOS. Obesity, lack of exercise, poor sleep, junk food like eating burger, pizza will precipitate PCOS, smoking and drinking alcohol. So this again explains how the hormones are in a normal menstrual cycle and how it is in PCOS. In the normal menstrual cycle, we can see the testosterone level is not that high. Whereas in PCOS, the testosterone level is very high. The diagnosis of PCOS in an adolescent girl is made when she has oligomenorrhea, that is decreased periods and menstrual cycle. She has increased clinical or biochemical hyperandrogenism. Hyperandrogenism is, as I've already explained, it is a male hormone. Clinically, it presents as hirsutism and acne. Biochemical, we do blood test for androgen levels, mainly DHEA, which gives the value of PCOS. On ultrasound scan, we'll see PCOS ovaries, and we have to exclude other causes which may lead to irregular periods. Rotterdam criteria is usually one of the criteria which doctors use for diagnosis of PCOS. In an adolescent girl, all 3 criteria should be present to label an adolescent as PCOS. She will have irregular periods, multiple cysts, and high androgens. Oligomenorrhea or anovulation should be present for at least 2 years after menarche or primary menorrhagia at age 16 years. Hyperandrogenism, this is biochemical evidence rather than clinical signs, should be present. And ultrasound diagnosis should show the ovarian size more than 10 centimeters and follicles in the range of around 20 to 25 per ovary. We do further lab investigations in a girl to rule out other associated conditions with PCOS. Complete blood count is done to rule out anemia. Fasting blood sugar and PLBS tell us about the sugar levels. Thyroid and other hormonal assay are done to see what is the baseline level of the hormone in the girl. Hematological profile to rule out other associated conditions like any bleeding disorders. in the girl. Ultrasound is a must for the diagnosis of PCOS. Now, if she has other anomalies in the uterus, then they can be ruled out by doing an MRI. Insulin resistance is a very important thing to be understood in PCOS patients. Now, PCOS is two kinds. It is one is lean PCOS and the other is obese PCOS. What do you mean by insulin resistance? In insulin resistance, once we eat a carbohydrate or any food, it is converted into blood glucose in the vessels. Now, when the blood glucose level rises, it sends indication to the pancreas gland. Pancreas then releases insulin. In a normal individual, the blood glucose from the vessels is transferred to liver and adipose cells in the human body. In PCOS, what happens? The insulin resistance does not allow the glucose level from the vessels to go inside the liver. So there's increase in the level of blood glucose, which manifests as pre-diabetic or diabetic in these patients. Insulin resistance is associated with many conditions. It leads to type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, impaired glucose tolerance, obesity, polycystic ovaries, hyperuricemia, acanthosis nigricans, decreased fibrinolytic activity, dyslipidemia, and atherosclerosis. Now, acanthosis nigricans is when we have dark discoloration of skin in the folds of the neck and underarms. Metabolic syndrome is very common in PCOS as well as it is one of the causes of PCOS also. So in metabolic syndrome, the patient will have person of family history of diabetes. There will be central obesity, which we call apple obesity. There will be increased levels of insulin in blood. Blood pressure will be high. There will be dyslipidemia, atherosclerosis, and hyperglycemia. Now we have discussed everything what happens in a adolescent girl with PCOS. This girl usually have lack of self-confidence, anxiety and depression, social embarrassment, lack of femininity, and suicidal tendencies. So the way to manage PCOS is lifestyle modifications and medical treatment. In medical treatment, we have only symptomatic treatment for the conditions the girl usually presents with. Reena, can you ask everyone to mute or can you mute them? There's a lot of disturbance.
Ma'am, I'm doing that. You can continue.
Okay. So when a PCOS girl comes to a doctor, she usually comes with the complaints of irregular periods, acne, sudden onset of weight gain, history of hair fall, and hirsutism. So a doctor needs to play multiple roles to start with. He has to be a clinician, a dietitian, a counselor, a psychologist, and an exercise specialist. For treating PCOS, we start with counseling the patient first. Now, the girl has to be counseled and explained about the hormonal changes she is undergoing and the precautions she needs to take. Both parent and the child has to be explained that it is a hormonal imbalance and it will take years of treatment for the hormones to come to a normal level. So counseling and reassurance is the mainstay of management. So we control PCOS with lifestyle modification. Lifestyle modifications are the mainstay of treatment in PCOS patients. So what are the lifestyle changes for PCOS patients? Fat reducing healthy diet, immunity boosters, exercise, reduction of stress, proper sleep, stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking, reduce time spent on social media, that is Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, join PCOS friends group, say no to plastics, and stay happy. There are many positive impacts of lifestyle changes in a PCOS patient. A weight loss as less as 5 to 10% over a period of 6 months' time is effective in reestablishing ovarian function in more than 50% of obese PCOS women. They will ovulate and the pregnancy rate will be higher. There's decreased hirsutism, reduced insulin resistance, improved metabolic features, and improved reproductive function. What kind of diet will be suitable for a PCOS patient? We take the help of a dietitian or a nutritionist to decide about the nutrition plan of every patient. For every patient, the plan is different. When a patient comes, we check her height and weight and calculate her BMI. A different level of BMI have different significance. For a normal person, it is between 18.5 to 22.9. In an overweight patient, it will be between 23 to 24.9. For pre-obese, it is 25 to 29. Then class 1, class 2, class 3 obese, and an underweight patient. A PCOS diet plan usually has calories of 1800 to 2000. There is distribution of total fat, calcium, sodium, carbohydrate, protein, and iron in the diet. Portion control plays a big role in the diet plan of a PCOS patient. It is generally recommended to spread calories throughout the day by having 5 to 6 small meals. This keeps the metabolism humming and reduces cravings for sweet and starches, very common among women with PCOS. Optimal meal patterns for a PCOS patient is consume breakfast within 1 hour of walking, snack 2 to 3 hours later, eat lunch 2 hours later, another snack 2 to 3 hours later, and dinner 2 hours later. It is preferable if the last meal is taken around 7 p.m. and then the next meal only the next day morning. There are foods which are preferred for a PCOS diet plan. Complex carbs. Complex carbs with low glycemic index can help keep your blood sugar levels steady, which in turn keeps insulin and androgen levels at bay. We should have more of millets, quinoa, sweet potato, and high fiber veggies in the diet. Beans and lentils. Apart from plant-based phytoestrogens, they are good source of clean protein, fiber, and many essential vitamins and minerals. Lentils, these little gems, are a great source of protein and fiber, which can reduce estrogen levels. Lentils also contain zinc. Soy and its products. Soy offers a special type of lecithin. It contains an abundance of auxins, identified as a vegetable hormone, which nourishes and replenishes the glandular system and helps them pour forth youth-building hormones. Broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables help maintain estrogen balance. And since it is so high in calcium, it can also help with premenstrual syndrome of pain. special herbs and spices. Certain herbs like cinnamon, turmeric, fennel, cumin, moringa, garlic, and ginger. Now, all fruits are good for PCOS patients, but pomegranate especially contains antioxidants filled with filled fruit and can block excess estrogen production in the body. Pomegranates have a natural compound that may inhibit the enzyme in women's body that converts estrogen into estradiol, which is a powerful estrogen that may play a role in origin of hormone-dependent cancers. Natural probiotics cleanse liver and gut, help detox body, and improves immunity. Flax seeds play a significant source of phytoestrogens and specifically contains a type of phytoestrogen called lignans. Lignans have both an estrogenic and anti-estrogenic effect. For the cooking medium, we usually prefer to advise coconut oil and ghee for the patients. Coconut oil provides the necessary building blocks for hormone production, can assist in weight loss, and reduces inflammation. Ghee is a rich source of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. In the nuts and seeds, almonds and walnuts are best. Sunflower and pumpkin seeds also help to stabilize the hormonal imbalance. Other important foods which can be advised are citrus fruits, green leafy vegetables, eggs, fatty fish, and good quality chicken. The do's and don'ts for a PCOS diet are: we should focus more on foods with low glycemic load, so it prevents pre-diabetic condition in PCOS. Fruits like cherries, grapefruit, apple, pears, berries, and bananas. Vegetables, most vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables, should be preferred except for potato. Lean meats and fatty fish. The foods to be avoided are dairy products because they lead to rise in testosterone level. Gluten, it causes inflammation and often found in high glycemic index foods, which leads to increase in blood sugar levels. Processed food that causes us spill of insulin, carbonated drinks, and sugar. Now, immunity. If we have good immunity in the body, we can suppress the hormonal disbalance which occurs due to multiple causes in PCOS patients. So for improving the immunity, we need to have fresh and unprocessed food every day. Eat fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and whole grains. Food like maize, millets, oats, wheat, and foods from animal source like meat, fish, and eggs. For snacks, use raw vegetables and fresh fruit rather than foods that are high in sugar, fat, or salt. Do not overcook vegetables and fruit as this can lead to the loss of important vitamins. Now, there are 4 functional foods which are strongly recommended for boosting the immunity: garlic, ginger, tulsi, and curcumin, found in turmeric. These have antimicrobial, anti-cancer, antioxidant, immune boosting, anti-diabetic, hepatoprotective, and prevents cardiovascular diseases. Vitamins are a must for PCOS patients and as well as in immune patients to increase the immunity of the patients. Vitamin A, D, E, C, zinc, and selenium are a must to prevent PCOS from progressing. In this slide, we can see the natural sources of vitamin A, which are dark green leafy vegetables, carrots, mangoes, papayas. Vitamin D is found in oily fish, egg yolk, liver, mushrooms. Vitamin E is present in eggs, tuna, salmon, wheat germ, sunflower, seeds, and oil. Vitamin C is found in liver, oyster, citrus fruits, guavas, strawberries. Zinc is found in baked beans, cashews, pumpkin seeds. Selenium in turkey, eggs, and copper in wheat bran cereals and whole grain products. Exercise and yoga are a must for PCOS patients. So how exercise helps in a PCOS patient? It improves in insulin and hormonal responses through exercise and reproductive function in women with PCOS. Aim to find an aerobic or resistance-based activity that fits within the confines of your daily routine, preferably in a supportive, like-minded environment. Find a friend or join women-based exercise group to enhance the psychological benefits of exercise. Long-term lifestyle and exercise maintenance will help improve the symptoms of PCOS as well as reduce the risk of developing diabetes. If you have never exercised, consult a specialist to guide you for the kind of exercises which will not harm you or hurt you in any way. If you have ongoing major health concerns, seek a GP clearance before commencing any sort of exercise. Start with 15 to 20 minutes. Best is walking, which can be done any time of the day. Also add in whole body resistance exercises for 20 to 30 minutes 2 to 3 times a week. If your local area has group classes, please join them. Yoga has its own benefits in PCOS and obese patients. It changes life perspective, causes self-awareness, relieves from depression and stress, slowed breathing, improved flexibility, decreased blood pressure, lowered cortisol levels, and gives a better sleep. Surya Namaskar is strongly recommended for PCOS patients. Now, among all the exercises in PCOS, aerobics is considered best. Aerobic exercise in women with PCOS improves ovarian morphology independent of changes in body composition. A reduction in body weight of at least 5% leads to significant improvement in menstrual cycle, ovulation, and biochemical hyperandrogenism, improved glucose tolerance, and reduces risk of cardiovascular disease. In comparison to dietary restriction, aerobic exercise causes 40% higher rate of ovulation and greater improvements in SHBG and testosterone despite less weight loss. Aerobic exercise resulted in greater reduction in fasting insulin and insulin resistance, suggesting a possible mechanistic link. Drinking and smoking should be completely stopped in a PCOS patient as it leads to increased cardiovascular disease, increases triglycerides, and causes metabolic syndrome. Non-addictive use of gadgets and social media are a must to reduce the stress levels of an adolescent girl. Staying happy is the best you can do for reducing the complaints of PCOS. Coming to the medical management, in medicine, the mainstay of treatment is with birth control pills, which cause regular menses and lower testosterone level. Metformin will help in lowering insulin levels. Spironolactone is used for excessive hair growth. Laser therapy will remove unwanted hair. Psychological support can help manage stress. Vitamins, mineral supplements help reduce the complaints of PCOS. So the take-home message for everyone is your food is your medicine. Exercise is non-negotiable. Quality sleep is the key. Say no to plastics. Stay in touch with nature and get proper advice and follow with discipline to control your PCOS. Thank you. Reena, any questions are there from audience?
Ma'am, no, nobody has posted. So we can request all the participants to post questions, any queries they have. So they can post in the chat box. No, there's no query actually. Soumya says that very nice and very insightful session. And Dia Gupta says it was very informative and clear. Thanks.
Thank you, both of you. If you have any doubts, you can ask.
Yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hello, Dr. Payal. It's a very nice presentation.
Thank
So
you.
I have a questions about this. You discuss about the different diets, right? For the adolescent girls.
Yeah.
So we have basically I'm a nutritionist. I have developed different food products like the millet based. So we included in few products we have included the phytosterol powders also.
That will be wonderful for our patients.
So can we, I mean, is there any specific dose this much phytosterol powders only should include in the product? Like that, do you suggest any, I mean, dosage of that phytosterol powders?
No, actually, there's no specific dose for this. We usually suggest a minimal amount which can be digested and utilized by the body.
Okay.
So your products, like if we can add little bit in the snacks, that will help. Now, usually for treating my patients, I prepare a diet. We take a detailed history, then we prepare a diet chart for them.
Okay.
And the basic investigations are done. So we give them the self-management guide of PCOS.
Okay.
So in that, we have a menstrual cycle chart, and they are followed up for 1 month. I usually don't put them on OC pills or anything. We just manage them by diet. Now for this, we give them a protein powder, a calcium syrup, a vitamin D supplement, and flax seeds. So we try to treat them naturally. Now for in the next 6 months, they with that diet, they reduce weight and their cycles usually come back to normal.
Okay.
So in after 6 months, if they don't if there's no improvement, then we take help of OC pills or metformin to decrease the blood sugar levels. And after that, now we give that for 6 months. Now in this 6 months duration, we prepare another chart and we try to normalize and put them off the medicines.
Okay, okay. Then
So
protein
these are
should
very
be
young
high
girls.
generally
So
in their diet, right?
Yeah. So for how long will they be able? Will they be using all these medicines? So usually we don't prescribe more than 6 months, and that 6 months time we gain to get the cycles normal with the normal products, not with the medicines.
Okay, okay. So generally with the diet only you will control. So
diet and lifestyle changes like exercise, yoga.
Yes,
Then
yoga, diet and exercise.
Especially vitamin D is a must.
Yes,
for patients. So like that.
Okay, and another one is that the combination foods also like millet, fruit and vegetable kind of snacks are also will be advisable to the PCOS.
Yeah. They are a big help for PCOS patients.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Then we are coming up with another few new products also, like energy bar, specifically functional properties and whatever you said that we are thinking about that. And once we are done completely, then we will come up with the product. So definitely we will give the samples to you. You can try with your patients.
Yeah, please do that. We'll add it in our diet program, which the diet supplements which we give to our patients.
Yes.
I surely love to add them.
Any specific, I mean, this much protein, I mean, a specific grammage of protein you are looking after? Like 12 grams of protein in 100 grams or any specifically you are looking for the grammage of protein?
Yeah, actually what we do is as I told that we calculate the BMI, the height and weight, and the multiple blood tests. So according to that, we prepare the diet. So it is
Okay.
different for every patient.
Okay.
Same diet is not shared between two people. It is very specific and different for each and every patient.
Okay, based on the patient's conditions, you will advise the snacking, quantity, right?
Yeah, snacking quantity and which dose. Like some patients will have severe anemia. So if we correct anemia, somehow it leads to, I don't know what is the mechanism, but it does helps in reducing the symptoms of PCOS.
Okay, okay. Oh, very nice, Payal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam,
Any other questions?
hello.
Ma'am, there is one question from the audience. Yes, please.
Good morning, madam. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
Madam, my wife is suffering from adenomyosis problem
Okay.
and bulbous right ovarian cyst. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, tell me. I'm listening.
Last 5 days is suffering severe pain and bleeding.
Okay.
What is the treatment of adenomyosis?
So adenomyosis is a very chronic disease. Now I have to look at her scan and her general condition for prescribing any medicine for that. So without that, I can't. Usually for menstrual irregularity or pain during menses, we prescribe Meftal-Spas. But it is always advisable to see a patient, examine her, go through her reports, and then advise something. So I cannot tell you online that what will be the best treatment for her. Okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Ma'am, there is one more question from Shashi Bharat. My daughter is 12-year-old, but she has heavy bleeding. How to control it?
Yes. So in a 12-year-old girl, we have to know when was her first menarche. So the age of menarche, if it is around 10 years and 12 years is 10 years and she is having problem now at 12 years of age, we do only symptomatic treatment. So for heavy bleeding, there are tablets available. So you can go to a gynecologist, she'll give the first line of treatment, which is usually tablets to stop the bleeding or reduce the bleeding. So two types of tablets are available. One is hormonal and the other is non-hormonal. So in young patients, like for a 12-year-old girl, we usually prescribe first the non-hormonal tablets. So this will stop the bleeding. But as I told, to tell the name of the tablet or the dose, it is better to see the patient, examine, and then prescribe the dose. So non-hormonal tablets will definitely benefit her. So you can go to the nearby gynecologist, anyone, get her examined and let her check, because we have to rule out bleeding disorders also, and then we can prescribe the drug.
Ma'am, one more question from Fiona. How can you tell one has PCOS? Maybe like what are the symptoms, or like how do
I
they?
can't hear you, Reena. Your voice is breaking.
Yeah, ma'am, question is that how a patient will come to know patient has PCOS?
How a patient will come to know whether she has PCOS or not?
Yes. On what
Okay.
basis probably you will diagnose that a patient has PCOS?
Okay. So for the diagnosis of PCOS, I usually do clinical diagnosis. What is clinical diagnosis? The patient will come with a history of irregular periods. That is, what does that mean? She'll say that instead she is having period once in 2 or 3 months instead of a monthly cycle. Then she will have history of hair fall. She say my hairs are falling and I'm going bald. Usually frontal baldness will be there. Then the third point is she will have acne. Fourth point, she will have hair on upper lip and chin. Now usually girls don't have hair in these areas. This is the hair pattern in a male person, having hair in chin, upper lip, then in between the two breasts and in the abdominal area. This is the typical hair distribution of an androgenic female patient in PCOS. Then the fifth point will be, I'll do a scan for her and she will have, as I described you, the pearl necklace appearance of eggs in the ovary. So by this we diagnose PCOS. And Rotterdam criteria includes all three of these things. I hope the person understood, or I'll explain again if you want, how to diagnose a PCOS in a patient.
Ma'am, one more question is BMI chart applicable for both male and female? Like the BMI chart which you showed, which you discussed. So I think the Srilata, she wants to know that is BMI chart applicable for both male and female?
Yeah, it is applicable for both male, female, adolescent, adult, old age, for everyone. That same BMI chart is used. Any other questions?
No, ma'am. I think this was the last question.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. I am Lakshman. Madam, I am having one doubt. Actually, my wife is having diabetic. My wife is diabetic patient.
Okay.
That diabetic came on in pregnant time, madam. Actually, she is having gestational diabetes.
Okay.
In fourth month. Madam, my doubt is after delivery, now I am having one daughter. Madam,
Okay.
my doubt is that diabetic carries to now to the doctor also.
Yeah, the chances of your daughter getting diabetes is high as compared to any other kid of a non-diabetic mother.
Okay, madam. Okay. Now my daughter age is 5 years, madam.
So what I would recommend is, please keep her away from junk food like burger, pizza, and cold drinks. These things are not to be given to kids. Actually, it is not just for your daughter, it is for every daughter.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other questions, Reena?
Ma'am, not in the chat box, but if participants want to ask personally.
Yeah, you can unmute them. So anybody who wants to ask can ask.
No, I don't think any more questions.
Okay. So you can end the webinar?
Yes, ma'am. If no questions are there.
Yeah. Okay.
If somebody wants
Thank you,
to
everyone,
ask
for
questions in local language, they can ask, ma'am.
Yeah, I know Hindi, so you can talk in Hindi. Telugu I can understand, but it will be difficult for me to reply in Telugu.
हाँ मैडम.
हाँ बोलिए.
मैडम ये एडिनोमायोसिस के प्रॉब्लम के वजह से अब तक 5 दिन से बहुत दर्द है और ट्रानेक्सा देने से भी ब्लीड कम नहीं हो रहा और सीवियर पेन है मैडम.
अच्छा, ट्रेनिक्सा आपने टैबलेट दिया है, इंजेक्शन दिया है उनको?
मेफ्लामिक एसिड दिया हूँ मैडम, उससे इतना भी असर नहीं है वो, और ओवरऑल इंजेक्शन देने से थोड़ा रिलीफ हो रहा, फिर बाद में फिर पेन स्टार्ट हो रहा. और 9 ग्राम है सो HB 8 ग्राम उसको.
हाँ, तो उनको आयरन टैबलेट देना रहेगा सुबह शाम, और इसके लिए अगर नहीं कंट्रोल हो रहा है तो आपको डॉक्टर के पास ले जाना पड़ेगा. उसमें वो ओसी पिल्स देंगे, तो ओसी पिल्स से ब्लीडिंग कम भी हो जाएगा और कंट्रोल भी हो जाएगा, या फिर ट्रेनेक्सा का इंजेक्शन भी दे सकते हैं.
अभी 1 घंटा पहले ट्रेनेक्सा इंजेक्शन 100 mg का दिया हूँ IV,
हाँ
मैं पैरामेडिक हूँ मैडम, इमरजेंसी मेडिकल टेक्नीशियन हूँ।
हाँ हाँ
तो क्या करे मैडम, ट्रनेक्सा इंजेक्शन अगर से इन केस ऑफ सीवियर ब्लीडिंग हुआ तो आप इंजेक्शन आईवी दे सकते बोले, दिया हूँ, मगर पेन कम नहीं हो रहा मैडम, और ब्लीड थोड़ा स्टॉप है, 1 घंटे से बोलते अभी तो थोड़ा स्टॉप है, मगर इसकी परफेक्ट इलाज क्या है मैडम? एडिनोमायोसिस।
ये बहुत क्रॉनिक बीमारी है, इसका परमानेंट इलाज देखिए, अभी उनका एज भी कम है, तो एज के हिसाब से ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं हम।
एज 35 इयर्स है मैडम।
हाँ, तो एज कम है ना उनका, यूजुअली एडिनोमायोसिस में अगर ज्यादा हुआ तो डीएनसी कर सकते हैं एक बार, शायद उससे थोड़ा आराम हो, या मरीना डाल सकते हैं, उससे ब्लीडिंग भी उनका कम होगा। मरीना जो है वो, इसमें हार्मोन्स रहते हैं, जो अभी हार्मोन्स के बारे में मैंने बात किया, तो हार्मोन लेवल कंट्रोल हो जाता है उससे और ब्लीडिंग कम हो जाती है। अगर
वेरी
उससे
नाइस।
नहीं कम हुआ और उनको बहुत ही ज्यादा तकलीफ है तो फिर ऑपरेशन कर सकते हैं, लेकिन 35 इयर्स बहुत कम एज है, हिस्टेरेक्टोमी करके उनका बच्चेदानी निकालने का बहुत कम एज है, तो इसमें यूजुअली दवाइयों से या इंजेक्शन से ही मैनेज करना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा अच्छा मैडम, ये मेरीना से कुछ रिजल्ट रहेगा क्या?
हाँ, ट्राई कर सकते हैं, मरीना यूजुअली बहुत इफेक्टिव रहता है ऐसे पेशेंट्स में, जो उनको इतना ज्यादा ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है वो काफी कम हो जाएगा, और तकलीफ भी, पेन भी कम होता है उससे।
ओके ओके। ये ट्रनेक्सा इंजेक्शन डेली कितने बार दे सकते, 1 बार या 2 बार, ऐसा कुछ? ये कम?
हाँ, 1 या 2 बार दे सकते हैं, लेकिन ज्यादा बार नहीं देना चाहिए। आपके पास में जो, आप जहाँ भी रहते हो वहाँ पे आपके घर के पास में जो भी गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट हैं उनके पास लेके जाओ, वो एग्जामिन करके देंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा।
मैडम ये बल्कि यूट्रस क्या होता?
एडिनोमायोसिस में क्या होता है, जो लाइनिंग होता है यूट्रस का वो थोड़ा बढ़ जाता है, थिक हो जाता है,
हाँ हाँ
तो उससे क्या होता है, जो एंडोमेट्रियम थिक होने की वजह से उसमें ब्लीडिंग ज्यादा होता है,
जी
तो और यूट्रस जो है वो थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाता है, यूजुअली जो नॉर्मल साइज का यूट्रस रहता है उससे थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाता है, तो जब बड़ा होता है यूट्रस तो उसको बल्की यूट्रस बोलते हैं।
अच्छा। यूट्रन
कई सारे
यूट्रस।
कॉजेज होते हैं, जैसे एडिनोमायोसिस है या फाइब्रॉइड्स होगा, तो उससे यूट्रस का साइज बड़ा हो जाता है, या पीसीओडी में भी होता है, वो क्या होगा, लाइनिंग जो है, जो मंथली पीरियड जो होता है उस पर वो लाइनिंग निकलता है ब्लीडिंग से, बट ये
जी
इन बच्चों को नहीं होता ब्लीडिंग रेगुलर, तो वो लाइनिंग इकट्ठा होते जाता है, इकट्ठे होते जाता पेट में, तो उसके बाद जब ब्लीडिंग होता है तो हैवी ब्लीडिंग होता है, तो उसके कई सारे कॉजेज रहते हैं।
अच्छा। अभी ये 35 इयर्स में हिस्टेक्टोमी का प्लान करना, नहीं प्लान तो नहीं करना है ना मैडम?
नहीं, अनलेस
ठीक है।
अनटिल उनको बहुत ज्यादा खून का कमी हो रहा है और मेडिसिन से, इंजेक्शन से, किसी भी चीज से, आप एक बार मरीना ट्राई करो ना, आपके डॉक्टर को बोलो वो डालेंगे, तो
जरूर
आप
जरूर।
इसको ट्राई करिए। सब मेजर जब फेल हो जाएगा मेडिसिन का तो लास्ट में हिस्टेरेक्टोमी का सोचते हैं, नहीं तो कभी भी नहीं करना इस एज में।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू
ओके,
मैडम, थैंक यू और गुड सजेशन।
थैंक यू। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
No, ma'am, I don't think any more questions are there. All the
So thank
questions.
you everyone for participating, and thank you, Reena.
Thank you
for
so much.
being-
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was pleasure having you on board, and I am sure that because people are also, commenting basically. No, there are not many questions, but people have commented about the presentation that it was very informative, and I am sure that they will contact you personally, if not on this webinar, but they may contact you personally for whatever queries they have.
Yeah, because most of the people who joined said that we have a lot of questions, so I said okay, but they didn't ask.
Maybe they feel this
Yeah.
platform, they may contact you personally.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dr. Payal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reena ma'am, also.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
It's a very really good webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
हेलो। डॉक्टर कट हो गए। करा तुम ऑपरेशन।